There's nothing that gives me more anxiety probably than social media. Peace to the planet, Charlamagne Tha God here, and today we're talking about mental health. It's Black History Month, so we're talking about black men's mental health, black people's mental health in general, just mental health, man. You know that's one of my favorite subjects, if not my favorite subject at this point. Let's talk about it. I would hate to be a kid growing up in this era because it's like everything, you're comparing your life to everybody's highlight reel. Because we are, at the end of the day, when you go home at night, you know who you are. You know what you do, you know what you're about. So you know the real you, but you're comparing the real you to everybody's highlight reel via social media. So you think everybody's doing better than you. You think everybody's happy, everybody making more money than you, everybody living the life. And meanwhile, you just still living in your mom's house trying to figure it out. So are those other people. They just fronting a little better than you on the gram. That right there would give you a whole other sense of anxiety and depression and low self-esteem and insecurity. I thank God I did not have to grow up in front of people on social media. And I'm not gonna let my children do it. Like, I refuse. Like, I'm not letting my daughter do that. My daughter's in the books, you know what I'm saying? Like, her thing is to read books and then watch the movie if there's a movie about it. She just did that with The Hate U Give, you know? That's when I'm in there. I like taking her on trips and taking her places. Like, we don't do social media. Like, I told her the other day, she had a cheerleading competition. I said, I want you to pay attention to your cheerleading competition today. And I want you to look at all your little friends and look how stupid they all look, just all on their phones. Like, you're all in a crowd like this, but they're all like this. And I forgot I even said that to her. And later on, she was like, you were right. They did look stupid. I'm like, who? She's like, all my friends on their phones. I'm like, yes. And they gonna be stupid too, because that's what social media is doing. Like, those smartphones are making us dumb. We're not treating this thing like a tool anymore. We're treating it like it's another organ, like it's an extension of our bodies or something like that. Like, the phone, the social media, it's all a tool. It's a resource, and we gotta get back to treating it like that. Yo, you don't walk around with hammers and screwdrivers in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? And if you was on the train with a hammer, you'd probably get arrested. You know, so you got to start treating your phone the exact same way. So I just think that all of that plays a huge role in why people are so not mentally healthy. Therapy has confused the out of me. I'm 40 years old and I don't know who I am. Therapy has made me realize that I really don't know anything about myself because I've never really dug up any of this stuff. Like, it's just stuff that happens, you deal with it, you know, you talk about it and you keep it moving. Like, I've been talking about being molested at the age of 8 forever. And I always be like, yo, I made the woman stop because she got a Jerry curl. I didn't like the smell of her Jerry curl. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, when you sitting in therapy and you talking to your therapist about that, yo, you realizing like, damn, how did that affect me in some way, shape or form? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that, you know, issues with my father that I thought I had suppressed and, you know, like that didn't bother me, but it did bother me. I never dealt with it. You know what I'm saying? It bothered me when my mom and my father got a divorce in 1998. It bothered me when, you know, I confronted my father about cheating on my mom and he looked me in my eyes and said, yo, one day you gonna understand. Or you only got one girlfriend, and laughed, you know? It messed me up as a man because in my mind, I'm like, damn, so is something wrong with having one woman? I'm supposed to have more than one woman? Like, this is you gotta understand, it's my father having this conversation with me. And then, you know, you get older, your father can't do no wrong. And then you get older and you realize, nah, he was dead wrong. And you realize, like, yo, you don't wanna make the same mistakes that he made. You know, you don't wanna ruin your family, you know? And I love my pops. Great guy, just not a great husband. Men move around the planet like they run this shit. You know what I'm saying? That's just the truth to the matter. And I remember one time I got a homeboy. He hates when I say this, so I'm not gonna say his name. He's a white guy. He said to me, he goes, yo, black men treat their women the way white men treat black men. And I was like, yo, that's how you see this shit? Like, so the fact, but when he said that, it's like, I wasn't upset. I'm like, if that is the way we're being viewed, then that narrative has to change. This stuff has to be told to you. Like, you gotta understand, the behavior has to be pointed out. And you gotta step outside of yourself and put your ego to the side and say, you know what? You're right. Like I had a homegirl, Amanda Seals. Man, I remember Amanda Seals. Amanda, we was talking a few years ago. Amanda was like, yo, black men don't want to admit they damaged. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to admit that they got trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't want to admit, they don't want to do the work. And I just remember hearing that. And like all of them go to therapy. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like when you see your sisters doing the work to be better people, and they're pointing you in the direction of resources and telling you, yo, you may need to go sit down and talk to somebody. It's like, why wouldn't you listen? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just that simple for me. Like, all these people around me that I respect go to therapy. All these sisters that I love and admire, they go to therapy. And they telling me that we don't do the work. Why wouldn't I listen to that and go do some work? I think black people think we're doing ourselves favors by keeping secrets, but we not. It's okay to not be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's fine. And you gotta tell kids that it's okay to not be okay. You know what I'm saying? But it's not okay to stay not okay. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go out there and do the work. My father called me and he told me about how he tried to kill himself like 30-something years ago. So I was going to therapy 2 and 3 times a week, and so I've been on 10 to 12 different medications. None of it worked for me, so they just started giving me a check. I remember saying to my mom, like, yo, you know, Pops was going to therapy and all of this and that. And she was like, I just thought he was trying to get a check. So think about that. How it's just dismissed. Like, oh, he's just playing crazy. He is trying to get a check. But my Pops was really going through it. Like, my grandmother was the most anxious person in the world, but to me, it was just annoying paranoia. My grandmother would literally be on the phone and be like, I can't even talk on the phone, they listening, and hang up. Like, who the is they, Grandma? You don't sell dope. You know what I'm saying? Or she'd be talking about the people in the woods watching her. You know, she literally told me I was gonna get shot at this place called Highway 6 in Monk's Corner, and I was like, I don't even hang on Highway 6, but then in the future, I did. So now imagine that. I'm thinking about, oh, my grandma told me 5 years ago I was gonna get shot here. Now I'm really up here. I'm like, was that a prophecy? So it's like that used to mess up my anxiety, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, we gotta constantly let each other know, like, that's not normal in any way, shape, or form. And I think by them seeing a lot of adults now just talking about these things, because the best thing to know is that you're not alone, right? When you start hearing people talk about dealing with anxiety or dealing with depression or dealing with PTSD or dealing with trauma, when you start hearing all of these things, you start like, oh, yeah. And even if you don't know what it is, when you hear somebody describing it, you're like, yo, I go through that same thing. So then you know that you could possibly be dealing with something, and you know where you can go to get the help for it. So I think we just gotta constantly keep having conversations about it. Delete or die. Because that's exactly what you're doing. You don't realize it, but you're killing yourself slow. You're not doing yourself any favors by like constantly being so wired. Like, I really don't feel like the human brain is designed to be connecting with all of those different people at once. Like, connecting with somebody is an intimate experience. We're all in verbally abusive relationships with our smartphones and social media. If somebody keeps telling you that you ain't it over and over and over, eventually you're gonna have to, am I really not? That messes up your mental health and your thoughts become things. I'm a stern believer in that. So the things that you want to happen in your life, you should constantly think about. The things that you don't want to happen, you shouldn't think about at all. But if somebody's constantly beating you in your brain, telling you how terrible you are, and how horrible you are, and how you ain't gonna never be it, eventually you're gonna start believing that. And when you start believing it, it's done. It's hard to come back from that place. It's very hard. Think about how hard it is think about how hard it was for somebody to make you actually believe in yourself. Like, this is stuff that they start doing with us at an early age from the time we're born, but we may not even believe it until we're 19, 20, 21 years old. So imagine constantly every day somebody bombarding you, telling you that you ain't gonna never amount to nothing, you ain't gonna never be nobody, what that could do to your psyche. I think getting to worthy is definitely a goal, you know, because that's a mental thing. Like, if you're not feeling worthy, then you're gonna probably have low self-esteem and you're gonna be insecure. You're probably gonna suffer from some type of depression. That's all falls under the mental health umbrella. So getting to worthy, Not getting to worthy in pockets, not feeling worthy at times, feeling worthy all the time. But like Bishop T.D. Jakes told me, he said, yo, even if you don't feel worthy, just know that God thinks you're worthy. That's why he blessed you the way that he did. Like truly not giving a F, meaning like getting to that point to where I'm not on social media at all. Cause I feel like as long as you're on social media, you give a f. You don't truly give a f until you get off social media. All the people running around here talking, I don't give a f, I don't give a f, I don't give a f. You care. If you didn't care, you wouldn't be on social media. Those are the people that intrigue me. The people who, I studied Jay-Z, study Hov. Hov ain't on social media. He talks to you when he wants to talk to you via social media. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Beyonce. Beyonce ain't giving no opinions on social media. Just pictures. You know what I mean? Like, that's interesting to me. That's very they're treating it like real tools. So for me, that's like not caring about that is a real mental health goal, because you feel very stupid when you're paying $150 an hour for a therapist for an hour session, and you realize 55 minutes of that was spent talking about what somebody said on Twitter. When I turned 40 last year, I had never felt like that, ever, on a birthday. I could literally feel myself going into a new spiritual realm. I can't describe it. I just felt it. I was in my favorite place, which is Anguilla, and I just felt myself. That day, because before I flew out the next day, but I was at work the day I turned 40, and I just felt it. I felt like I woke up different. It's like how Ace saying paid in full after he got shot. Like, yo, my body different, I'm moving different. Like, I felt different, and not in a bad way. I just felt like I just shed something. And I was just like being given a fresh start. Like, I had to look around in my life and say, I'm a father for real. Like, I'm a husband for real. Like, I'm a businessman for real. Like, it's like, this isn't a game anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've just been in this different spiritual place since then. And I hope that's what the rest of my life is like. I hope every year I feel like I'm elevating to a new level spiritually, a new level of consciousness.